Hey friends, it's Marie and I am here to help Jess and Laura celebrate their 3K video hop. Now they have both reached 3K followers on their YouTube channels and I'm really excited for them. So I'm going to go ahead and make a card and a video for this hop. I'm using this stamp set from Fun Stamper's Journey, and I'm also using a little bit of Aqua pigment paper from Brutus Monroe. I'm going to be using these Aqua pigments on my Waffle flower media mat, and you can see how easy it is just to squirt these pigments out into these little wells that are on the side. I'm doing a rainbow assortment of colors today. I'm going to do a rainbow sky behind my little unicorn, and this is going to be really fun. So I'm just getting the rainbow of colors, just squirting a little bit out into my mat here. And then I'll show you how I'm going to use all of these colors, blend them together in a little bit of a simple watercoloring to make a really fun sky. So I'm just brushing on some clean water and just adding it to my paper, and then I'm adding my colors on top of that. And the reason I put the water down first is so that when I put the colors on, they spread and they kind of evenly spread out onto the paper. They also spread into each other better. It helps them to blend. And you can notice I'm going in the rainbow order here. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, and I'm just doing that so that they'll all blend together well and they won't muddy any of the colors. And I'm also going to go back after I get all of these colors on and then add some more color and some more water over them and just help them blend together more easily. I also will add a little bit more water to a few different areas and kind of get some of that color to drip a little bit into each other. And I thought that looked really fun and made a colorful, unique background. So once you have all your colors on and it's looking the way you want it to look, you can go ahead and heat those or dry them with your heat tool. And I'm doing this right on my media mat because it is heat resistant. So now my background is dry and I wanted to add kind of some clouds to the background. And I'm just using this cloud stencil with a baby wipe. And I'm just going to wipe this baby wipe over the edge of this stencil. Now what this is doing is it's actually removing some of that watercolor. So it's making a edge that looks like the clouds. So it's kind of a watercolor lift technique, and the baby wipe is damp. It's not super wet, but it's just damp enough that it's kind of lifting some of that color away. Now, if you did this on a background that has darker colors, you're going to see it a lot better. My colors are a little bit lighter. I could have gone over and done another coat to make all of these colors darker, but I really like this light, sort of dreamy background for my unicorn. So I'm just kind of rubbing this baby wipe along the stencil, and I sped up this part just so we could move along, but I did this over the whole background. Now, if you also wanted to add some shimmer, you could pick up some shimmery watercolor or, something like that with your baby wipe and then also rub that on. And I think that would look really fun too. But I'm just using the baby wipe straight out of its little package and it works perfectly fine. So you can see those light clouds starting to appear. And as it dries, it's going to come more, you can see it better as it dries. So this was a really fun different technique, and you can use this with stencils too. If you did a whole background stencil, put it down over your background and then just lift that color with some clean water or a baby wipe. So I did go ahead and I dried that background again just to make sure it was all dry, everything was fine. And I'm going to make some clouds out of vellum, and I'm using this same cloud stencil. This is from Brutus Monroe, and I'm just using a pencil to trace around those clouds my background. And I'm just going to fussy cut those out. Now if you have a cloud die, you can definitely use that as well. I don't, so I'm just going to cut them by hand by using this stencil. And I'm doing this out of vellum so that I can layer them on the background and still give sort of that dreamy look, and I think it looks really fantastic. So I hope you're all enjoying the hop so far. Please make sure that you look down in the description below for the list of names, the people to hop to next. You don't want to miss out on any of the fabulous people that are in the hop today. So next I'm going to take these unicorns. I've already stamped them out and cut them out with the coordinating dies. I'm just using one today, and I'm coloring it with my Style File alcohol markers. I'm just doing a little bit of gray around the unicorn because I wanted her to be white, but you do want to add a little bit of shadow so at least it has a little bit of definition and it's not just plain white. And then I'm using my colors. I'm giving her some pink hair. So I'm using 3 different colors. Very light pink, which is what I'm putting on here. And then I'll do a mid-tone pink and a darker pink, and then just blend them all together. So when I do my alcohol coloring, that's the way I like to do it. I like to put my lightest color down, then the mid-tone color, the darkest color, and then go back with my lighter color and just blend it all out. And I did speed up this portion of the video just so we could keep moving along. If you like different coloring videos, I have some more coloring videos. I have a video about coloring, and I will link that up in the top corner if you're interested in that. But my coloring is mostly really simple. I just put a few of the colors together that go together, that blend well, and just a tiny bit of shading, and then I'm done. So this little unicorn, really, I colored her really quickly, just using a little bit of color, and then she needed some sparkle. So I'm taking this Midas Gold Sparkle pen from Tonic, and I'm just adding some sparkle to her horn and to her hooves. And you can see I squirted a little bit out onto my media mat before I added it to my image here, and that's just so I could pick up some of that extra sparkle and make her extra sparkly because unicorns can never have too much sparkle. So I'm just adding that to her hooves and to her horn and giving her a little bit of gold shimmer. And I also went ahead and put some clear sparkle on her mane and her tail. So that's what I'm doing here. This is also an Aqua shimmer pen from Tonic, and this is just the clear one. So it adds some sparkle, but it's not color at all. It's just plain old shimmer, plain old sparkle. So I'm just adding that to her mane and her tail and just letting her shine a little bit more. I think if you're going to go with unicorns and you're going to go with rainbows and everything girly, it might as well be sparkly. You might as well add a lot of shine. And I thought that was really fun. So once I had her all sparkled, I decided to go ahead and build my background. Now I'm taking those vellum clouds that I already fussy cut out, and I'm adding some Versamark ink to the edges, and then I'm going to go ahead and emboss those with some gilded sparkle. So that's a gold embossing powder that has some glitter and some sparkle in it. And I just thought it would make the edges of these clouds stand out. Now you don't have to do this. You can just leave them as is, or you could do it in white, or even just like a clear kind of glitter. But I really liked that gold. I wanted to get some more gold in here since I put some on my unicorn. And you can see now that I'm just kind of pouring it on over where I put that ink. And then I will take a brush and kind of brush up the edges and kind of clean them up a little bit before I go ahead and heat this up. So I'm just tapping off the extra, I'll be putting it back into my jar and cleaning up the edges before I go ahead and hit it with my heat tool. So this is a really fun, really easy little technique. If you want the edges of your paper or your vellum to stand out, just go ahead and ink it up a little bit and then emboss it. And I think it just really makes things shine. Hopefully you can see that shine on the clouds. It's so much shinier in person. I love this gilded sparkle that it's got the gold, which is shiny in itself, but it also has that glitter in there. It just kicks it up a notch, and I really like it. So I just want to kind of arrange things on my card here, make sure it's all going to look nice. And I trimmed those 2 cloud panels down, and I'm carefully putting some glue around the edges. Now the glue is going to be hidden behind this embossing here on the top, but I am just going to put it on the sides as well. I'm gluing around the edges because I'm going to add a little bit of confetti in the middle and make sort of like a shaker panel or pocket. It's not a full-on shaker card, but it is going to trap some of these little confetti pieces inside those. So this is like some cloud confetti from Tonic. I think it's rainbow cloud confetti. I could be wrong, but I'll link it down below in case you're interested. And I honestly could have added more to this pocket here. I didn't add quite as much as I could have, but I've never done a shaker this way by just gluing the vellum down, so I didn't know if it would work. And it actually worked fine. I had a little bit of confetti kind of coming out of the bottom, but I'll show you how I fixed that in a little bit. Really simple. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this next panel. Just put some glue on the edges, and then I'm going to sprinkle on some of those confetti pieces and glue it right over the top. So that traps that confetti in there, makes a cute little shaker pocket, and it also gives a little bit more shine because I was going for a lot of shine on this card. I think it was really fun to make, and I love the way it turned out. So I'm just making sure I'm pressing down all of those sides to get the glue to stick and to dry, and I'm shaking around that confetti to see if it's going to stay in there. And I did have that one spot on the bottom where things were leaking out. So I'll show you what I did here. I think I left it in the video. First of all, I'm taking some of my Brutus Monroe foam tape and I'm mounting it on a card base. I just like to have your front panel popped up a little bit, add a little bit more dimension. I just think that looks nice on my cards. And you can see that confetti is still falling out. So I'm taking a palette knife and I'm pushing that confetti back in, and then I'm taking my fine tip Brutus Monroe glue and just adding a little bit of glue there. I'm gonna hold it down, let it dry, wipe away any of that extra glue that is smushing out, and then I kind of fixed that little area where things were dropping out so it doesn't leak anymore. So now I'm adding my unicorn to the top of my card, and I'm using some of these little foam pieces from Craft Perfect. These are really tiny little squares, and the backers come off really easy, so I find them really fun and easy to use on my die cuts and different pieces that I want to pop up. So I'm using this So Fabulous stamp for the sentiment. Again, I'm embossing it in Gilded Sparkle because I cannot have too much sparkle on this card. And it also matches with the clouds. So I thought that was just, you know, a win-win all over the place. So I'm going to go ahead and emboss that. And now I'm just trying to figure out where I want it. I want it to kind of go behind my little unicorn. So I'm going to trim down this piece to fit behind my unicorn on my card. And then I'm going to go and just add some more of those foam pieces, the same pieces I used for my unicorn, and then just pop it up behind there. So it adds a little bit more dimension, and I think it just looks really nice. So there's some more of those foam pieces. I'm just going to slip it behind my unicorn there, and she is so fabulous. So the tricky part is getting it behind the unicorn without it sticking in a place that you don't want it to. But if you just kind of stick it in there really carefully and then press it down when it's in place, you should have no problem. So since we are celebrating 3,000 followers, I decided to put a glittery 3K over the So Fabulous, because it is so fabulous that Jess and Laura have both hit 3,000 followers. I think that's amazing. I want to say congrats to both of them. So what I did here is I cut out 3 sets of each of these, 3 3s and 3 Ks, stacking them on top of each other so that I can give them a little bit more dimension. They're a little bit thicker. And then I'm going to glue them right above that So Fabulous. Now, I cut 2 of these layers out of white cardstock and then the last layer out of gold. And that way I can have the gold cardstock, the gold glitter stock, on the top, and it just adds even more sparkle to this already sparkly card. And I thought it was really fun. So I love my little fine tip applicator on my Brutus Monroe glue because I can put it on these really tiny die cuts, and it's really easy to do. So even if you have something really tiny like these tiny little pieces, it works really great for that. So there is my 3K So Fabulous unicorn. I'm going to finish it off with just a little bit more sparkle using these gold sequins from Fun Stamper's Journey. I just arranged a few here and there and glued them down with my Brutus Monroe glue, and that pretty much finishes the card. So thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for joining this blog hop. Don't forget to say congrats to Laura and Jess. Please go ahead and follow all the links below. Leave comments, thumbs up, subscribe, whatever you need to do, and I will catch you next time. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.